Hey everybody, in today's video we are going to talk about inventory management. Now this is the third video of a 6-part series, so I'll put the links below if you want to check out the introduction and pillar number 1, which is sourcing. So today's video is going to be on pillar number 2, which is very important, inventory management. So if that's of interest to you, then stay tuned. All right, so inventory management. All right, like I said in the first video of this 6-part series, I believe this is really one of the most important parts of a successful online book arbitrage business, right? You've got sourcing, that is the most important. We need to get sourcing out of the way. And then after that, you've got all these other things, and they all touch inventory management in some way. All right, so in today's video, we are going to talk about what is inventory management and why it matters. We're going to talk about how our system works and how it's going to benefit you. I'm going to show you a quick demo. And finally, I'm going to go over some frequently asked questions we get regarding our system and inventory management in general. All right, so if you're running a book business, your most important asset is books, right? So it only makes sense that you'd want to keep track of them, right? And if you ask anyone running a successful business, whether it's on Amazon or really any other business, even whether it's a product or service, successful businesses know their numbers, right? Now, when I say inventory management, as it pertains to a book business, particularly with the business model we're talking about today, I think these are some of the things that you're going to want to know and understand and have this information for your business regarding inventory management. Number one, you're going to want to know where are your books, right? You're going to want to know what type of books you have in your inventory. You're going to want to know how much you spent. You're going to want to know what's your break-even price on your books. You're going to want to know when you purchase the book, what is my target profit and ROI, and that's after all fees, right? And then even after you purchase the book, rather, you're going to want to know, okay, if I adjust my pricing, which by the way you should be doing, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the repricing pillar. However, you're going to want to know what's my profit and ROI as I adjust my price, okay? And you're going to want to know, very important, is how old is my inventory, right? Now, some of these things I have here, they can be done just with Amazon's reports. However, I'm going to show you in a minute, those are not always accurate, but just to know, those are some of the things that I think that are important that you need to know in general regarding your business. One of the things you need to understand regarding inventory management and money in your pocket, I'll say, is Amazon reimburses us, right? They lose books, they do all kinds of things, they damage our books or our inventory, and they're going to send you money back. Now, if you go into Seller Central and you look here under payments, you know, that's sort of hidden, right? And I can only wonder, did they do that on purpose? I don't know. But you actually got to click the Show More button, and then you'll see it here, reimbursements, right? And there's different ways you can run a report, but you can download the report. And what you're seeing here, I did this for a 2-month period during textbook season. I just want to see, you know, how much inventory did they lose, and you know, throughout textbook season, we've had to open up cases because they've lost inventory, right? So this is just an example of why it's very important not to rely upon Amazon as keeping track of your inventory, right? They're not good at it, right? Not as good as they should be, right? And you got to consider the volume that they do. If they don't make a mistake, but or if they do it accurately 99.9% of the time, that's still not good enough, unfortunately, right? The amount of volume that they do. And one way I guess I really can appreciate that is I've actually had the opportunity to go to the Chattanooga, Tennessee Fulfillment Center, and I got a tour. Now, as I make this video, unfortunately, due to COVID, they've paused that opportunity, so I don't think anyone can get tours anymore, but highly recommend, getting off subject for a minute, highly recommend you do that if you get a chance in the future. But anyway, many takeaways I got from that tour, but one thing I can tell you real quick is it's very easy to see how inventory can get misplaced, right? They've got a pick and pack system, and they've got something a place for everything. But the moment something gets put in the wrong spot, if it's not in their computer system, it is gone, right? I'm sure they can recover things in some way, but it's very easy for me to see, especially having been inside one of these fulfillment centers and see how they operate, that despite how good they are, it's just such a massive amount of products and books and whatever. It's very easy for me to have seen how they can misplace inventory. So I just look at it as, hey, it's a part of the business. They're going to lose my inventory, but guess what? I've got my own inventory management system. I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose out, right? And in some cases, it's great. And one of the reasons I do this exercise during textbook season, give you guys a quick tip, or maybe even right after, is that's when the prices are often elevated. Books, textbooks is particularly. So if you put in a claim and say, hey, you lost my inventory, maybe, and you do that in August or September, or maybe even in October, the prices may have been more elevated than whereas they might be a little bit less, and you'd get less money back if you were to dispute something and say, hey, you lost my inventory, I want to be reimbursed. So that's just a quick tip for you. But anyway, important thing to know is that you need to keep track of your own inventory. You can't rely upon Amazon in any way to track all your inventory properly. All right. Now, the bottom line, I think, for this is really to improve your profits, right? That's why you want to keep track of your inventory. There's reasons why small businesses go out of business. They don't know their numbers. They don't keep track of their inventory. So let that not happen to you, and keep track of your inventory. All right. All right. On deck next, we're going to talk about how our system works and the benefits for you. All right. So I just talked about, saving you money and increasing your profits. Really important. But why I built this inventory management system is really to save you time and money. And for me, it's really almost more so about the time, I would say, right? The way I have got this set up, I can do shipping and listing very, very quickly. Repricing is much easier. Just the whole system works much, much better when you're organized and you have a good, solid system in place. All right. It helps you make better buying decisions, helps you make better repricing decisions. And the important thing I think you should understand about our system is that you own it, you don't rent it. Okay, what do I mean by that? All right, if you're paying monthly to a service to track your inventory, right? You are basically renting, right? You pay a monthly fee, and they're gonna track inventory or give you some accounting information, whatever they're gonna do, month in and month out, right? But with our system, you actually own it, right? Which I think is pretty darn cool, right? Now, the reason you want to be on a subscription with us is because we're going to give you the data, we're going to give you the book so you can source. But beyond that, once you sign up and you start using our service, you own it. And essentially, we can't take it away from you, right? You own it, and you can always use our inventory management system along with all the training that comes with it. All right. And also, as I mentioned earlier, and we're going to get into this in the future in the other videos, listing and shipping and repricing. So our inventory management system is the input, right? It starts those other two processes, and we'll get into those again in the future videos. And I think one of the most important things you want to understand about, especially using our inventory management system, is first, I want you to think when you start selling on Amazon, right? And you got to understand, every single one of us that ever started selling on Amazon started from ground zero, right? We knew next to nothing. But I want you to think, hey, I'm going to start this off, but down the road, I want to do a better job of running my business, and I don't want to do the same. I don't want to do things exactly the same way I'm doing them today, as I want to be able to be doing them in the future. In other words, I may want to automate. May want to hire people. I may want to scale up the business, right? And the awesome thing I think about our system is that we give you a very, very solid base in order to do that. Okay. In other words, we position you for growth. And this is what ended up happening to me when I started to become a little bit bigger of a seller. I said to myself, I can't no longer manage this system using the way I'm doing it now. I have people working for me. It was very cumbersome. End up doing a lot of administrative things. So I've end up being able to automate a lot of those things, and I can tell you as I make this video, 6 months from now, a year from now, I'm going to be doing things even better. And part of the reason I can tell you that is that we're built upon a very, very solid system that makes scaling much easier and much more conducive to scaling, automations, all these things. All right, let's show you a demo and can give you a quick demonstration. All right, so in this demo, I'm going to try to keep this a little bit short, and part of the reason is when you sign up for our service, we have very detailed videos on this already that go into a little bit more depth. So I'll keep this somewhat high level, but just know that that information is out there. And also, if you're the type of person that really wants to dig into this, especially looking at these videos, you can download our quick start guide. Go to our website. I'll put a link below. And then from there, you can get access to these videos, which are not, they're not public out on YouTube, okay? So, all right, so the second thing is regarding this is, let's just keep in mind that this is just dummy data for this demonstration that I've put into our system. All right, so, as I said, inventory management, first of all, you have to have some inventory, right? So I've uploaded some dummy data in here, but I'm also going to show you, just a quick process of actually buying the book and what the normal process would be. So this is our inventory management system, and this is important, it is also where you source from, right? And this is very different than most other systems that you've seen out there, and I'll explain that in a little bit more depth in a bit. All right, but the bottom line is whenever you're using any kind of software to do online book arbitrage or getting book leads from anywhere, we're all trying to get you to find a book that is profitable. And where you're going to end up typically is going to be either on Amazon or somewhere else. Now, so I'll go ahead and click these buttons. This is showing me the lowest prime prices, and this will show me the lowest price overall. Now also we have, let me scroll on over here, we also have links to other websites if you want to try Bookfinder or eBay or Biblio. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can find these other books over there. We'll just stick with Amazon for this demonstration. Now, so we can buy this book, as you can see, for $265, $3.99 shipping, in good condition, from a good seller, and we can sell this book. The lowest FBA right now is $32.45. So let's just assume we were going to do that. Now, I'm going to show you the process that most people would do. If you're new, just know this is what most other folks that are doing, especially ones that are not using our software. And this is the process I used to do before I started using the system I'm about to show you. But we're going to, let's say we'd buy this book, we would add it to cart, and we'd proceed to check out. I'm not going to go through the process, but I think you'd understand. You'd enter in all your information, and lo and behold, you would get an order number. Now, what most people would do once they got to that is they would start with some sort of a spreadsheet. Usually it's one that they developed, right? You need whether a spreadsheet or you write this down on a piece of paper, whatever. Obviously, if you're going to order a bunch of books, you're going to need to make sure they actually arrive. And as I make this video, I can tell you that the post office is definitely losing some inventory more often than they like to admit. So it's important to keep track of where your books are. And there's really no other way to do it, right? You have to track your books, or you're just hoping that they show up or something like that. All right, so you'd put in your ASIN, and then you'd put in your title. Now, usually you're not going to be typing this stuff out. You would be copying and pasting it. So you'd copy over, that information, and we put in the condition. I bought it in. I'll just put G for good. Let's see. I paid $265 plus $3.99 shipping, so that is $666 was my total purchase price. I'm going to sell it. If you remember, it was $32.45. And we're gonna, let's say we got that order number, whatever it might be, we'll put that in. Now, profit and ROI, this is at the time of purchase. What was my profit and ROI? So we're going to show you that here. If let's see. All right, so we're gonna change that to $32.45. And by the way, we also can track the prep center fee. Let's say we were paying $1.50 prep center. So our profit here is $12.35 with 186 ROI. So I would put that in here, okay? And the ROI was 186%. All right, and then you'd put the purchase date. Let's say I purchased it on that date. And I'm going to put a book received, I'm just going to write no, something like that. All right. So you would do this for every one of your purchases, right? And there could be more information that you'd want to track, right? And you have to log this in. Now, what you just saw, you might not think that that took that long, but what I've come to realize that this is actually a waste of time, okay? And what I mean by that is using our process, what we would do, instead of having to copy and paste all that information, what we would do instead is we would just fill out a couple things. We're going to put in that order number, so it's whatever that was, and we already priced it, we already have the ROI. We're going to put in the purchase date, and now we're simply going to change the status of that book. So status, we have a couple different statuses that we use, and this basically covers the actual way in which you're going to do this business. So the status of new simply means that it's a new book. I've never looked at it before. Maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. I did buy this book, so we're going to change the status to inbound, meaning we've ordered it. It is inbound either to us or to our prep center. So I'll click inbound, and once you do that, it disappears off of here, and that's a really good thing. Now, it didn't disappear entirely. We have a spot for it. We're going to click over here, and these are called views, and this is what makes this very powerful as far as tracking my inventory. So I've put that in there, and I've already preloaded some inventory in here. I'm going to go to inbound books, and if you see here, right now as I make this, again, this is just dummy data, I have 114 books that are inbound, and I can see them, right? I can see the purchase date, I have them over here. I've got all kinds of information. I've not had to do any of that copying and pasting for each one of my books that you saw before. The more important thing is that I have really good information. You noticed over here, for example, how I put in the profit and ROI. Well, this was good, but how do I know I'm going to sell it at $32.45? Maybe I want to increase the price, or maybe I have to decrease the price, right? And that happens. But when you decrease the price, if you're using just a spreadsheet or something, or even if you were writing it on the piece of paper, now I don't know what my profit is. I don't know what my ROI is, all right? That doesn't happen with our system, okay? With our system, after I've purchased the book, if I'm going to change the price on any particular book, let's say this book, I bought this book just as an example, and you can see that the profit was $18.87. Now I'm going to change the price. So as I change the price, let's say I need to drop it down to $52. As soon as I change the price, the profit and ROI are recalculated for me automatically. So hopefully right away you can see that you have better control of what's going on with your books when you're able to know your profit and ROI always, okay, not just the day that you buy the book. That is very helpful when you buy the book, but it's not going to help you for pricing and repricing. So you're going to want to have that information. Okay, the other important thing to know is when you do this on a spreadsheet like this, you might wish you had a column that said break even. That's like, what's my break even price on this book? And by looking at this information, you can't tell, nor can you even calculate it, right? Your break even price is not your profit minus your selling price. You might think that's the case, but it isn't, because there are both fixed and variable prices, or fees, I should say, from Amazon. So the bottom line is when you do something like this, unless you take the time to figure out your break-even price, which is not easy, but it can be done with Amazon's FBA calculator, you simply don't know what your break-even price is. Now, using our system, we have the break-even price populated for every single one of our books, and that only takes a moment to do. I'm not going to go over that detail on this video, but we have a break-even calculator that's going to be able to figure out, all your break-even prices, and it just takes a few minutes. All right. So let's go over a couple of the other views that we have, or we should say statuses. All right. So we got our books; they're inbound. What would be the process once we, got our books and we're going to ship them off into Amazon? So as the books come in, whether you or your prep center, they would be marked ready to ship. Okay, that means we've got them in physically. They're sitting at my place or they're sitting at the prep center, and I'll mark a few of these as ready to ship. So now they're no longer showing up on our inbound view; they are on our ready to ship. So in this example, I have 165 books that are ready to ship. So when we're actually ready to do the shipment, again, we'll go over that in a future video when we talk about listing and shipping, but you would simply populate the date shipped, and then once the books are physically shipped, you change them from ready to ship to Amazon, and you would just mark them all as shipped to Amazon. So that same sort of thing is going to happen over here. You would have to do that, manually using a tool like this that you develop on your own. All right. So the other big advantages of using our tool, which we're going to show you in the next videos, are really listing and shipping, right? And also repricing. Okay. Now, I would be absolutely remiss if I did not mention this other tool in this video. Okay. Our tool is good. It doesn't do everything, and when I mean everything, regarding accounting. Okay. One of the most popular tools out there is called Inventory Lab. A lot of people swear by it, and I'll put a link below if you're interested in it. And that's going to do some accounting things for you. One of the big things it does is listing. Okay, now I will tell you, and you may have heard me say, I do not use Inventory Lab. The main reason I don't use it is because I would not use their way of listing books. They list them one at a time. Okay, and for some people they like to do it that way. Not me. Okay, I want to list all my books at one time, and it only takes a few minutes. So this process is going to take you longer. However, there is some benefit to it because there is that accounting feature that they are hooked into your Amazon account, and as books sell, they're able to update, and you'll know, as you sell them, what your profit and ROI is, and they give you all kinds of information on your books from that standpoint. Okay, so this does not do everything that ours does. Ours will not do everything that Inventory Lab does. But again, the good part about being in business, you can pick and choose, what works best for you. But I'll put a link below for Inventory Lab. All right, one other part of this business you're going to want to understand, and it's important for inventory management standpoint. And this, although I just mentioned Inventory Lab, I don't think Inventory Lab is going to help you in this regard. And you're going to need to figure this out on your own or use something like our tool. And that is returns. And what I mean by returns is not that you sold the book and the customer is returning. It's rather you being the customer and needing to return a book because the seller sent you the wrong book or wasn't in the condition in which you expected, all those types of things. So the way we would handle that is, let's say, we ordered this book. Let's just use this as an example. We ordered this book, The Craft of Argument, Concise, and it's inbound. We get the book. We ordered it in very good condition. Now it shows up in really unacceptable condition. Let's say it's completely water damaged and whatever, and we want our money back, and we're entitled to that, right? You got to remember that one of the great things about doing this business is when sourcing, you are the customer, and you're really, and especially if you buy from Amazon, you're not going to get screwed, right? I got screwed here, but I'm going to get my money back one way or the other, right? And that's the attitude you should have when you are sourcing, in my opinion. All right, so this seller, whoever they are, didn't send me the right book. I'm going to be nice about it. Let me say that, but I'm going to ask for a return. So you have to track that, right? You have to make sure you get reimbursed and all that. So what we do is we have this status. We're going to change it from inbound, and we are going to change it to return. Okay, and now we go over here and we have a place for returns, and this will be where our returns are. And from here, you're not going to track all that same information that you saw before. It's there. You can see it if you want to, but I don't really need to. All I know is that I paid $13.47 for this book, and I expect to be refunded. So you can fill in the remarks here. You can, you would put in, that you've, on such and such a date, you requested the return, and maybe it takes the, seller a few days to get back to you and actually refund your money. And then once you're refunded, you would change this to refunded. Okay, so you've got really good control of your, you need a system because that's part of this business. You're going to have, a few books that you're going to have to return, and you're going to need some type of a system to do that. And that's how we handle it. And, another great thing is that you can, you can expand this further and do different things with it. All right. And let me show you what I mean by that. Now, As I mentioned earlier, one of the great things is that this is a really solid foundation. And in none of my videos, I've really talked much about these two things up here, automations and apps, right? And I'm not going to get into too much detail here because this is really more, it's not an out-of-the-box thing that we provide, but I want you at least put it in the back of your mind that, hey, if you want to grow your business, I need some more. I would like even some better tools. I want to make this business even easier. All right. Let me just show you just some of what's possible. So you can have a dashboard of your inventory. Okay. So that's what you see here. This is a dashboard of my inventory. I know that I've got, books, and these are the books that, I have books that are sold, they're shipped, they're ready to ship inbound, and these are just new, lots of books that I haven't even looked at yet. So you can have charts, I want to know, what are the condition of the books that I have in stock. That's here. I want to know how many books I shipped to Amazon. You can have that. And this is just all at a glance. You just look at it. All right. So I'm not going to go into details, but at least that's just something you should, at least want to put in the back of your mind and this is all stuff that I do in my business that makes this so much easier. And as time goes on, with Master Book Flippers, we're going to continue to, put out more information and just better ways of doing things and better processes and tools that you can use to make your business run smoother and make it much easier to use. The other thing with automations, we're not going to jump into automations on this at all, but at least know that, one of the big parts of what we do, what book flippers do that use prep centers, right, is the prep center will have something that looks very similar to this. Most of them will use Google Sheets, and you'll have to put in your information for every single book that you buy. So you'll have to, and it doesn't take that long, right? But you'll copy and paste it into theirs, right? That's just something that you've got to do. So one simple, small automation that we have, and we don't do that anymore, right? We have prep centers, and we don't have to put our information. We don't have to copy and paste. It's done truly automatically, right? A lot of people like to throw automation around, that term automation, right? Like we automate our service to give you book leads and things like that. But this is true automation where no human is touching it, and it actually gets done automatically by the computer system. Okay, so that's just one small example. There's lots of other automations that we have in place, and just again, put in the back of your mind, okay, this is a tool that I might want to use that down the road I can start, using some of these other tools and apps that this system offers me the ability to do to make this business easier to do and scalable and a whole bunch of other things. So just wanted to throw that out there. That is something that is included with our system, the ability to integrate with other apps and to do all kinds of automations. All right, let's talk about frequently asked questions. All right, so the first is why you don't hear about this from others. Meaning, why do you not hear more people talking about inventory management? I guess the two things. First, maybe it's not that sexy, right? That's number one. Number two, there are some third-party tools out there that will cover some of this stuff for you, so the folks will direct you to them. But lastly, I think those that are actually selling you book leads or selling you software to do this business model, most of them don't actually run a business like we do. Right, so they don't have this well thought out for you in terms of inventory management. Really, the focus in those arenas are really just getting you to sign up for their service, and it's all about sourcing. This tool is going to make your life great, and by the way, we've got another tool for you. We've got this Chrome extension. Here's my affiliate code for this and that, right? And that's all part of business, and that's fine, right? But that's not entirely how we operate here, right? We do this business on a full-time basis, obviously, and we've got this well thought out for you. So that's why I think we're going to talk about inventory management, because we know that it's really, really important and that nobody else is talking about it. And it's really important for your long-term success of your business. All right, how much does this cost? All right, so our inventory management system is included with our Plus and our Pro plan. So we've got, as I make this video, we've got 3 different plans, and you can check that out on our website. I'm so confident in our product and our service that we actually give this to you for free. What I mean by that is you can sign up for our service, you could cancel, or you could be a subscriber for a period of time, but when you're done, you own the inventory management system that we provided to you, right? We don't shut it off for you. We can't shut it off for you, right? Which is which is great from your perspective if you're thinking of getting into this business, right? Typically, if you're using another service, whether you're getting book leads in the mail or in your email, or you're logging into a system to source books, the moment you cancel your service, you're locked out, you're done, you're no longer going to be able to use that service, right? So we operate a little bit differently, in part because we are very, very confident in our sourcing, right? You're going to want to stay on with us, number one. Number two, part of the reason why we've got this inventory management system in place for you is I want to see you guys be successful, right? Obviously, if you don't stick with us very long, that's not good for master book flippers, and something's wrong on your end. It's not good, right? So we've got a lot of confidence in the product and service that we've built. So you're going to get that inventory management system, and it's yours to keep after you start using our service on our Plus or Pro plan. All right, next, I'm technically challenged. Can I do this? I would say yes, right? We were all technically challenged at one point or the other. I think when you sign up for our service, we're going to give you detailed step-by-step video instructions, high definition, exactly what to do. All right, last, I'm an expert on using technology. Am I locked into using your system, or can I modify it? You absolutely can modify it, as I've already mentioned to you. This is a own, not rent. So it's not like you're renting a car. It's like you own it, and you can do what you want with it once you get it. All right. So you can absolutely do that. And by the way, some of our customers, I think they're already some of them I think are going over our heads here, believe it or not, into some of the automations and some of the other apps you can tie into using our system. It's really, really awesome. All right. Is your inventory management system accounting? The answer is no, it is not. Now, as I make this video, we do have an accounting system, but I don't have that shared as I make this video. That may be something that we introduce later on down the line. So you can just go to our website. If we have something, it will be there. But so that is the benefit of using some other software out there, right? They're more focused on accounting, right? I'm more focused on inventory management from a perspective of having control of your numbers from an inventory standpoint, and partially from an accounting standpoint during the life cycle of selling the book, right? I think the inventory management systems out there that are more geared towards accounting do a really good job of, once you've sold the book, they're going to be able to tell you, all kinds of statistics somewhat seamlessly behind the scenes on how your business has done once you've sold the book, right? So there's definitely, pros and cons and some overlap on some of the things that we do. All right, the thing about those systems, of course, is they're usually not a one-time fee. It's something you're going to have to pay month in and month out. All right, that leads me to my last one, is what are your choices when it comes to inventory management? All right, so first, you can use our system. 2, you can create your own inventory management system, right? And some of my customers already had that coming in. And they say, you know what, I'm very happy doing what we're doing. And that's why we have the quick flip method. They said, I just want to see the books. I want to see them as quickly as possible. So we developed the quick flip method for those folks who have their own inventory management system in place. Like I said, you can pay for a third-party tool. Usually you're going to be paying monthly for that. And last, and I do not recommend this, you can tell yourself that this stuff does not matter. I'm just going to order my books. I'm going to send them on into Amazon, and I'm going to hope for the best, right? You can do that. However, it is my thought that in business, hope is not a method of being successful. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll put a link below to our free quick start guide, and I'll also put a link below to our new Facebook group, which will include free book leads every week. And if you'd like to try one of our plans, head on over to masterbookflippers.com. All our plans come with a risk-free 14-day free trial. Thanks again.